some of the must-have lenses when you go for your shoot?
The one lens that I really like to bring is the 23mm f1.4 portraiture, even street. It's something that I can do everything with. My second favorite, okay, now have to be the 50mm 1.0 because I realized that even for a lot of street photography, I can do this and I don't have to worry about all the lighting conditions and stuff like that. And I can still get my favorite images because f1.0, why not, right? Yeah. So yeah, these are actually two of my favorite lenses now.
Lenses, like a must-have.
Yeah.
So I know that you hosted workshops in various countries. What are some of the workshops that you hosted in?
One of the places that I go annually is Africa, Kenya, and I bring a lot of students there to teach them about wildlife photography.
How many days is that?
Usually about 10 days,
10
9,
days,
10, 11 days depending on the flights. Anything longer, sometimes your participants might not have enough leave and of course the costs will actually go up. So that is usually a comfortable number of days for the shoot. Besides Africa, I used to do a lot of Northern Light trips as well. So I do bring a lot of people for Northern Lights trips. In all these years, I think I've seen Northern Lights like 50 over times and
you always manage to catch?
Yeah. Yeah, so I would say actually, come to think of it, my hit rate is 100% for all my customers.
But it's always the same spot?
Okay, I've brought people to Norway, Finland and Iceland. There are certain spots that are quite standard, but again, because it's a Northern Light trip, when we go to this particular spot tonight, it seems to be a bit cloudy and things like that. So then we have to drive all the way out to somewhere else where there's no clouds and try to capture some nice footage of the Northern Lights.
You all go in a bus?
Minivan.
Minivan?
Yeah, so usually my trips are small groups.
About 6? Yeah.
For all my trips, usually it's about 4 to 8.
4 to 8.
At max 10, so that I have more time with each participant and they really can learn more about photography.
What's your favorite places to go? If you don't host workshop, just yourself, going to shoot?
It's just places for me to shoot. I guess it's any place that I have not been to.
So there are travel the whole world to different places and try?
Definitely. When I traveled to Mongolia in peak winter, that was minus 40 degrees. Wow. We actually stayed with the tribe. Your fingers, it's a contradicting feeling. It's numb, but it's painful. Being photographers, we still have to want to shoot pictures and things like that. So just endure and really a different kind of experience. And besides the coolness, of course, it's also, I have to say, I've seen the most beautiful starscape there because we're in the middle of nowhere. So of course, it's everywhere is dark and you can really see the stars sparkle and everything else. It's just so amazing.
Okay, we have some of your favorite photos that you showed us. Maybe you can share some stories about these images.
The first image that we see here is taken in Norway. This was the first time I brought my GFX 50S to shoot the Northern Lights. I guess images like this is really once in a lifetime. Northern Lights is already very rare. Sometimes you might not even get it. To capture the comets right in the midst of the Northern Lights is also, is something even better.
So for the second image, what was this?
This was taken in Kenya 2 years back. It was also my first time bringing my GFX 50S to Kenya as well. I still remember while we were actually driving to the camp, one of my participants actually saw something on the tree. So we stopped the car, we take a look, we said, oh wow, it's a leopard with the white sky at the back. And to me, black and white photography is always about the shape of the image. It was exhibited at the Fujifilm studio last year or 2 years back, I remember. I've got people who come and saw the image who are not photographers, so if they're not photographers, they wouldn't be bothered about all these details. Even then, they actually tell me, oh, you can see that the fur on the leopard is so lifelike and it's so sharp and so nice. Okay, this is interesting, and this was also taken in Kenya. We actually followed this family of cheetahs for about 3 days.
Oh.
So when we followed them for the 3 days, they failed a couple of times. They only managed to catch a hare, on one of those days for a snack. So it was a long-awaited, wait for such things to happen. And this was taken with the 200mm lens.
So for the fourth image, this is another interesting one.
Yeah, this was just taken last year as well.
What was this at?
This was in China. What happened is, some people might not really, understand the story behind this. We were actually shooting on the elevated ground, so it was golden at the top part because of the setting sun.
Oh, okay.
So the water is actually receding during sunset. So initially, the water covers a big part of the beach. That's why every minute is the different image you see from there. So in terms of family portraits, besides the sit down, look at camera kind of photos, right? In the end, we also want to portray the mood and feel of
Candid
the
photos as
image,
well,
of the image to our clients. So this is one of those that, as a black and white photo, the shape, the lines, everything is perfect, and in terms of the mood of the image was nice as well. So yeah, one of my favorite also.
So for the last image, this is
Okay, this
wedding,
is a wedding photo. I guess being a wedding photographer for now up to 13, 14 years, I definitely have a lot of my favorite wedding photos. Why I chose this image to show over here was because this was actually in Paris. This was taken with a X-T1 at the time. We were still wondering, whether a mirrorless camera, can we use it for wedding photography? And I really liked the whole mood and the quietness portrayed in this image, because I was just entering the room, I saw the bride looking out, checking out whether her dad is coming through or not, on a 1024mm at the time, because that was the widest Fuji had at the time. Things turned out nice, and that's why chose this image, to show it over here.
So before we wrap up everything, maybe you can share some tips to the viewer in how they can improve their photography, and what are the accessories that they should have also for when they go to do their street photography and stuff like that.
Thing that you can have for photography is whatever camera you have at that point of time. To be there at the right time, to be able to capture it is definitely the most crucial. So we do not have X-T4 with us all the time. I ever had one of my students will ask me this question. When we are shooting something and we have 10 other photographers around us, what makes your photo different from the rest? Because everybody might have something similar. Probably 1,001 ways to interpret it. But what's more important is you have to make it your own. Yeah, and
not always on the technical stuff, but it's more about framing, lighting, and
correct.
stuff like that.
So I always tell my students as well, I say, you might not have your camera with you at this point of time, but you see a beautiful light, you see a beautiful subject, or you see a beautiful scene, capture it with your mind. You visualize how you go frame it, you visualize how you go capture that image. Every time you do this, right, even without a camera or a handphone camera, in the long term, right, the next time you have your camera, you'll be able to capture that beautiful scene.
Thank you, William, for sharing your story and about the X-T4. So if you want to find out more about William's work, you can check out the description below. Thanks, Cathay Photo, for hosting this entire setup, and stay tuned for more videos in the future. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.